you like to blow bubbles in the shower, you've come to the right podcast. Hello, I'm one half of the amazing duo of the BLUECHEW podcast. I'm the delicious Nicolicious.
And I'm Bubbles. See what I did there?
Bubbles?
See what I did there?
Yeah, man.
Hey guys, I'm Rob. How's everybody doing?
You like to blow bubbles in the shower?
Depends.
Yeah, I like to throw that thing in a circle, throw that ass in a circle. I blow bubbles in the shower. If you've never listened to this podcast before, it's R-rated, as in ridiculously funny.
Hey.
No, we're a couple dirty dudes, dirty dads in a basement somewhere just north of Cincinnati in Dayton, Ohio. We're called the BLUECHEW podcast. We've been doing this for about 4 years. We got lots of friends, lots of people all over the world that listen to us that think we're just the cream of the crop.
The bee's knees.
Yeah, the cream rises, as Macho Man said.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he said that.
Yeah, this is the first time I've done this on an empty stomach, I think.
Yeah.
I don't traditionally go to this podcast hungry.
Right.
I'm hungry today. So if you sense me rushing through stuff, just slow me down, dial me back.
If you start getting overly pissed off, we'll take a little break and
I get really hungry sometimes.
we'll fill you up.
Sure.
Giggity.
Fill me up. I would like to say welcome to our new Patreon subscribers, especially you, Craig Anderson, as you're first on the list, Mr. Craig Anderson. Thank you for your Patreon pledge.
And also thank you to Mr. Ryan Henderson. Thank you, sir.
Harry and the Hendersons. Good show.
Yes.
Real good show. Ryan, congratulations on the ball transplant. Brandon Williams, thank you for your Patreon pledge, fella, and for that picture of your dirty underwear you sent us. We really appreciate that, man.
Definitely love that. And next we got Jorge Rico.
He sounds like a very skilled Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist.
Yeah, you probably beat my ass.
He'd probably whip both of our asses at the same time.
And eat my ass.
Then we'd have a secret run-in from our new friend Bryce. Bryce, thank you for your Patreon pledge, buddy. Sorry about the last name thing that you don't have one, but Bryce, we appreciate you.
Yeah. Strange tamer. Tame that strange, my friend.
I don't know what that means, man.
I don't either.
I've been called a strange tamer a couple times in my life before. Dylan Dildo Cole, Mr. Dildo, thank you, Dylan Cole, for coming to see us and listen to us. We appreciate it, buddy.
Next, we got Don Pop Lock and Drop It. Thank you very much for popping it,
Put
sir.
the thing down. Thanks, Don. We appreciate it, buddy. Desiree, Connor, Desiree, Desire, Connor, thank you for your patron pledge.
Cassidy Hoffman. Thank you very much.
Hoffman.
Look at this next one.
Puffy Nipples Appreciation Society.
The old PNAS.
Yeah, PNAS. Thank you for your PNS.
Oh, God, I love it.
Oh, man, this is the best day ever. Thank you, Puffy Nipples Appreciation Society. We thank you.
And this is either an acronym or epilepsy. It's WMXXRE. Thank you very much.
It's definitely epilepsy. Oh, man. And if you guys don't know it by now, we have a secret closed group called the BLUECHEW Podcast Butt Chuggers Anonymous.
It's so secret, let us tell you about it.
The password is Bill Wilkins.
Jill Bilkins.
Also coming up, we have a live show in 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it's Monday the 16th. Now our show is Saturday the 21st. So
it's in Louisville, Kentucky. And there's going to be enough room for over 100 of us. Right now, we're up to close to 70 of us. I think Ashley said it's going to be closer to like 80 or plus right now.
Yeah, that'll actually be there, right?
We need you to buy tickets and come see us. If you can't afford tickets,
just show up anyways. We'll work something out.
Send us an email and we'll send you a super secret coupon that gets you in for free. It's going to be August 21st. I think it's at 6:30 or 6 or something like that.
I just want asses in the seats. We'll work something out.
Oh, yeah. We're going to take it out of your ass.
I've done worse things in darker alleys. So
you're absolutely right. Let's get back to our battlefield of love this week.
Let's set the ambiance first here for...
So, if you are someone that's in need of love advice...
Which, aren't we all?
I think we all are.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a queef.
Squeaky chair.
You can send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Use the subject, Brohio Battlefield of Love. We're going to read your questions live on the air. If you don't want your name used, the fucking end of your message say, I don't want my name used. That's how that works.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And for the lady that wrote us and said, I didn't want my name used, and you used your name. You signed the email with your name. No takes backsies. She said, can you take my name out of the episode? I said, no, I don't do that. We don't edit the show. We fucking start recording and then we stop.
Don't stop listening to us, though.
You can if you want. I guess, a fair trade-off.
At least just leave it on download.
You will be forever cemented in Brohio history. That's, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
This is from Hannah. She comes to us a lot. No, wait a second. Okay.
Giggity.
Dear bros, my name is Hannah. I'm a 22-year-old single woman, and I have had my fair share of online dating experiences.
Hell yes, I'm excited about this one.
Once upon a time, I was hooking up with a guy whose boobs were bigger than mine.
Nice. Good for him.
Could have been me, but it wasn't me. We were in my college dorm. The whole thing was a cringe fest.
Aww.
I don't want to seem like I'm too full of myself, but I would have considered myself out of his league. Oh, you get it, girl.
Sometimes you got to get with a swamp donkey. It's all good.
I laughed and farted at the same time and masked it. I'm a typically nice person, almost too nice to where I get myself in trouble. I agreed to let him come over because fuck it. He came over and it was pretty rough, but not in the good way. The minute I touched him, he had concluded. He cummed.
Oh, nice.
And there was no fun after that. After he left, I tried to talk to him a couple days after, and he wasn't responding. Long story short, he ghosted me. Was this something I had done, or was he too embarrassed to hang out? P.S. I really enjoy your podcast. I especially enjoyed the Josh Powell episode because that was the first true crime case that I ever remember due to it taking place near me, where I live. Also, as a Mormon, it was fun to hear you make jokes on us. Keep up the hilarious work. Love you guys. With love, Hannah.
I love people with a good sense of humor, especially when we hit close to home like with shit like that. So that's awesome.
Oh, so apparently we're using copyrighted music there. So we had to find some new music that's not.
There we go. That fits. It's way better.
It's the Brohio Battlefield of Love.
So anywho.
Yeah.
Why are we like kids, man? We're fucking children.
What is this?
It's okay. Let's go back to. I don't even remember what the fuck question is anymore.
Oh, she fucks some dude with big fat titties, and he ghosted her.
He was definitely really embarrassed.
He was embarrassed.
Yeah.
That or you're fucking.
She's terrified of you touching him.
Yeah. Maybe you got to douche a little. Maybe most of the times, even ugly guys don't like stinky girls.
Yeah.
So Hannah, if you were bathed up and smelled okay, then I really don't know what the problem was. He was probably honestly scared. The energy you gave off was too much. It shook him down to his loins. He was just he had to get out of there. It was too powerful for him. But the fact that you were calling him, trying to, says a lot about your character and how sweet of a lady you are.
Yeah, man, get that dick date.
Get that dick date. Wherever you found him, at the buffet or wherever you found him, I would try somebody else next time.
Did you get to suck on his titties, though?
Oh, yeah.
That's the real question.
He's not allowed to listen to the show. I know that because he's got puffy nipples.
That's true.
All right, you can read the next one from Caleb.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see you, Caleb. I'm in a predicament. My wedding is on the 21st, same day as your live show. How do I tell my fiance we have to reschedule our wedding so I can go to the live show? Well, I'll tell you what you can do. Yes, do that. That was perfect timing. How did that...
It's hard to miss with this one.
Here's what you can do. You make sure your wedding's early enough. Fuck the reception. Just party at the show. Or meet us afterwards.
Send us an email and we'll come to your reception. Crash it.
Depends on where you're at.
No, it's fine. We'll be there.
If you're in Louisville, we'll be there.
It's whatever, man. That's what matters. We'll be there.
We're always there with you.
Send us an email, Caleb.
Or just have her come down to the aisle to one of our episodes.
Give us the deets, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Dear Brohio, this is getting to be regular asking you guys for advice. Well, I had my first threesome.
Yeah, buddy.
Good on you. It was with my girlfriend and kind of my cousin, but not my blood, so it's okay.
Damn it.
So the night started. We were all in bed kissing and having fun. And my girlfriend said to my cousin, hey, want to fuck my boyfriend? She said, oh, yeah. So my girlfriend pulled out the strap on and strapped it up to my cousin. My girlfriend and me told me to get in position. Next thing I know, my girlfriend starts whipping me while my cousin is fucking my ass.
Okay.
That's not exactly how my threesomes play out.
No.
No.
Definitely not my threesome fantasy.
My girlfriend started asking if I was going to cry again.
Again?
After about 5 minutes, my cousin was feeling bad for me and finally stopped. I think my girlfriend has issues. I couldn't sit down for 3 days. Gotta get a donut, buddy. How can I tell her she needs help? Help me, please. Ben Dover from Alabama.
Good old bend over.
And he also went to Hoya. Yeah, so here's the biggest thing you gotta do, man. If you want to make that butt less than desirable, you gotta shit yourself before you have sex. That's what I do to my wife. And it's like, in the Jurassic Park where them fucking raptors spit that black ink goo stuff.
Yeah.
I got a similar mechanism with my butt. When I feel like there's gonna be an intruder,
Like a threat?
Some type of foreign threat, I shit myself. I black ink myself.
You summon all your powers.
Yeah,
So, you have one of two options. You can either do that, you can either shit yourself, or you can make the pegging thing a routine to where, if there's one thing I've learned is if you do something enough, you might eventually start to like it. So
tell your cousin or your girlfriend to get a smaller fucking strap-on, too.
That too, yeah. Yeah, don't use the fucking Hulk hand. That thing's scary.
Really scary.
Let's see what's going on next. Hi, guys. I need some advice. I've had a BF for about 10 months now, and he's been asking me for a while to talk more dirty during sex.
You want to go in and fuck your butt? I'm going to go in and fuck you.
The problem is, I've never had sex this intense, and I'm super cautious, but it's super self-conscious about how I look and how I perform. How do I make myself feel confident enough to say things that turn him on and make it a better experience for both of us? P.S. I wanted to thank Nick for his words about depression on your last episode. I've had depression for a long time, and it's easy to forget that I'm not alone. What you described is how I feel most days, and it was nice to feel like I'd been seen. Thank you, Sarah.
You are not alone. I'm straight to carry on. I'll sing to anybody that wants to be sung to.
Hey, I like it.
So what you gotta do, Sarah? No matter, are those farts? Is this song made of farts?
I think so.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right, well, we've committed at this point. Sarah, your boyfriend in 10 months.
God damn it.
Is gonna be completely fine with anything you say.
Yeah.
If you just fucking turn my pussy in a raw noodles. It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
He's going to be turned on by it. As long as you got that wop, there's nothing to worry about. You can say anything you want, no matter how fucking stupid it is, or how not stupid it is. He's going to be, he'd be cool with a little bit of change of pace.
Sure. Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, it's a real weird thing to get into, so I get the awkwardness and the weirdness of it, especially if you like you said, you're self-conscious. So, I mean, it's kind of, the thing is you got to think about is that obviously your partner enjoys being with you and is having a good time with you, so don't think about it. Yeah, think about it as you guys together and not you on your own. So, and also about the message from Nick. Yeah, thank you. That's nice. We're
here for you, girl.
Yeah.
Everybody's here for you.
You got this.
We're all here for each other.
You got this.
Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it doesn't suck. But when it does suck, just know that we love you.
Yeah. Being an adult's fucking awful.
For you.
It's cool because we can eat ice cream anytime we want, but it also sucks because we have to deal with all the other shit that comes along with that. So,
completely agree.
Yeah, we're all here for you. You got this.
Turn off the fart music.
Oh, darn.
It was done.
I thought it was going to be the backtrack for the whole episode.
I think people might turn us off for that one.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a serial killer episode. Do you have any idea? You don't have any idea what we're talking about, do you?
I have no idea. I mean, I do now because I see who it is, but...
do you know who he is?
I know the name, but I don't know his shit.
I think he's been covered a lot.
I'm sure, yeah.
But...
True crime world, what hasn't been, besides something that's happening literally right now, besides someone who's getting murdered right now.
If you're getting murdered right now, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to talk to you.
We want the first scoop.
We will pay for your interview.
Yeah.
We will fly you here.
We will get you into our live show this weekend, this Saturday. August 21st.
August
21st. I'm like, fuck, I'm thinking of September already. Like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to pause this for 1 second.
You got to get food?
I had to figure out how to say this guy's name. I did all this research. I didn't know how to pronounce his name.
Just wanted to make sure.
This is the story of Dennis Nilsen. He's a serial killer.
Yay.
From Great Britain. So he was a little more polite than an American serial killer. If You pay attention to those types of things.
Yeah, just the whole time he's killing you, he's like, pardon me, pardon me.
Pardon me, excuse me.
Sorry.
And he's infamously known as the British Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, okay, cool.
Dahmer was a hell of a dude. I wish that we could summon his ghost and interview him on this show, because he would love us.
I'm sure you have a lot to say.
I don't think he would eat us. I'm too big. I'd whip his fucking ass.
I don't think either of us would taste well. So
no, I would taste gamey for sure. Like something was wrong with me. But the one thing, it begs the question, if he's the British Jeffrey Dahmer, you think he had the same taste in men as Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah.
Nilsen was born November 23rd of 1945 in Fraserburgh. I know they pronounce them weird over there.
Yeah.
They don't pronounce it like you spell it. Fraserburgh, Scotland. He was the second of 3 children.
Aww.
And his daddy was a Norwegian soldier. And his father's name was Olaf Magnus Mokshin. He was a cartoon snowman, Olaf. I had to go back and edit that. I didn't know what a fucking snowman was for a second. He married a Scottish woman named Elizabeth White, and that's spelled Whyte. That's a strange spelling for White.
Yeah.
And they moved into Elizabeth's parents' home. So this would have been Dennis's grandparents' house that they moved into.
Okay.
And this was not a good marriage from the very start. For the two of them, this inherently made things harder for Dennis, their son, the subject of this topic, or the subject of this episode. And it kind of sets them up for failure, moving right into your parents' house right after getting married. That makes things hard, takes away the time for the intimacy, all that stuff. But that kind of, every time we talk about a serial killer, it always goes back to how hard their life was as a child. And I don't think he had a bad childhood. I think he made it harder on himself than anything else. But
yeah, some people are just inherently shitheads.
He did claim that he had a bad childhood. And his dad was not there. He had 2 siblings who were conceived during brief visits between his father, Olaf, and his mother. So he was a Norwegian soldier. He was never home. And when he would come home, he'd fuck his wife, get her pregnant, and he would leave. And none of these kids really knew their father at all.
Damn, that's sad.
And he was never home. He didn't take care of his husband duties. You know, he didn't take the trash out, because that's really all husbands are responsible for, is taking the trash out.
Just trash men.
Yeah, that's all we are. So he was kind of neglecting those duties and all that stuff. It didn't make him a very good husband. And I don't know why I put this, but I don't blame him. Being a husband sucks.
You did put that.
Yeah, it says I always got to take the trash out and shit. I was mad when I wrote this.
Yeah, you really were.
I think I was staring at a full trash can when I wrote this.
You were going through some shit.
Yeah, I was mad, man. Now, Dennis's mother, Elizabeth, she had finally had enough of a part-time marriage, and she filed for a divorce. Elizabeth's parents supported the motion fully, as they knew this was something that the young couple had rushed into.
Oh, okay.
And they finally did divorce in 1948. While Dennis definitely had a more than questionable father, Olaf being the traveling snowman, fucking
with a name like Olaf, what do you expect?
Traveling snowman army guy. He was, yeah. I mean, he didn't have that strong father figure, but he kind of did, because his mom's father, his grandpa, his maternal grandfather, Andrew, was very close to Dennis. And during many subsequent interviews, Dennis recalled his time with his grandfather and how he said his grandfather was a hero to him.
Aww. And
always took care of him, and saw to it that he had that strong male figure in his life. Now, they would oftentimes take walks along the harbor, and Dennis would ride on his grandfather's shoulders, he would recall. And he said these walks would last for what seemed like hours. This is about the time he was around 4 or 5 years old. But he had vivid memories of riding on his grandpa's shoulder with his nutsack on his grandpa's neck, just riding up and down the harbor on his back.
Oh, yeah.
Getting jiggy with it. Na. Just going up and down. I wish my dad would carry me on his shoulders right now. That would be so much fun to watch him struggle.
Just watch his fucking ankles.
My fat sack on his
turn to powder.
And he said these are some of the most vivid memories of his childhood, even though he was only around 5 years old whenever all this was going on. In 1951, his grandfather's health really took a turn for the worse, unfortunately.
Oh.
But the old man, he just wouldn't quit. He was a fisherman, so he was probably tough as goddamn nails, and he did not relent. He kept on working, kept on going to work, kept on going out on the sea and catching these fish, these tuna fishes. I don't know what they were fishing for out there. Until he unfortunately couldn't. You ever heard the term work until the day you die?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this guy did.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
At the end of October, it was October 31st of 1951, he was fishing the North Sea and suffered a heart attack that would end his life at the young age of 62 years old. The death of Dennis's grandfather would unfortunately go on to shape the youth of Dennis, he claims. The ship he died on brought his body back to shore for the family, and they brought the body back so the family could give him a proper burial. And when Dennis would reflect upon that, Dennis said that his mom asked him if he wanted to see his grandfather one last time as he was laying there in a casket, to which Dennis replied, yes, I want to see him. And then when she took him in to see his grandfather, it was a very traumatic experience for him. I know he had been on the ship for several days dead, and they brought him back, and I don't think they did the whole embalming thing and kind of just what you got's what you got.
Yeah.
So it was a really traumatic experience for Dennis, with that being, how important his grandfather was to him and him passing away, and having to look at him in that box. It was a haunting experience, and it was something that haunted him for the rest of his life. And Dennis, he kept on struggling the whole time growing up. He was not well because of the death of his grandfather. He remained kind of quiet and disconnected his entire adolescence. He didn't over the years, he resented any time that he had to spend with his family, much like you did growing up.
Yes, that's for sure.
I'm so happy you're not, well, you could be, and you just haven't got to my fat ass yet, but I'm just saying, I'm thankful you're not a serial killer.
Nope, I haven't sunk that low yet.
There's still time. And he would oftentimes isolate himself away from everyone. Anytime that the family was all together, he would just lock himself away someplace else where he wouldn't have to spend time with his family. And after meeting your stupid fucking brother, I can see why you wouldn't want to spend any time with your family either. His younger brother, Olaf Jr., the smaller snowman, was the center of attention, and everyone... Olaf was his older brother. No, Olaf was the oldest, I believe. No. But he was the center of attention, and everyone paid attention to him, and this really bothered Dennis, and he had a hard time overcoming that. He did grow pretty close to his sister Sylvia, which is a really hot name. His sister, over the years, she would become really close to him, and he would kind of lean on her until one point in the story where he leaned too much, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. She was really the only person that he would conversate with and kind of go out of his way to spend any quality time with. Eventually, Dennis's mother would move herself and the kids out of the grandparents' home, and they would move into a flat. I don't know what a flat is, but when I'm reading through this research, they keep on referring to a flat. I don't know if those are people like... Is everything just two-dimensional in the UK? People, it's not a 3 or 4 dimensional world. It's kind of just a...
I thought it was just like an apartment.
Yeah, it looks like the very first...
2D house.
It looks like the very first version of Grand Theft Auto. Or
overhead view.
Everything's flat. Oh, man. Eventually, his mother would go on to marry a man by the name of Andrew Scott. So she would remarry. So then Dennis had himself a new stepdad. Oh, okay. Stepdads are always the best. They drink all your Mountain Dew. They rape your mom. They're fucking great. Is that what your stepdad did?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. God rest his soul. They would go... Sorry, there's someone at my front door, and my wife just ordered Donatos. So, yummy. You like Donatos?
No, I do.
It's good pizza.
I don't mind it at all.
Oh, yeah. After they got married, they had 4 children in 4 years, so they got busy. Not only did Elizabeth have the 3 kids, Sylvia, Olaf Jr., the snowman, and Dennis, but they went on to have 4 more children in 4 years. So that's 7 kids. You gotta pump those numbers up.
Yeah.
And Dennis did not like his new stepdad, as he was drinking all of his Mountain Dew and raping his mom. He was a bit of the new dad was a bit of a disciplinarian. So Dennis didn't like that. So what you got to do if you're listening to this show and your stepdad's a disciplinarian, you got to fucking kill him when he's sleeping. That's my advice to you. Don't really take my advice. That's facetious. But if your stepdad is an asshole and you have any cool stories about it, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. I'm always fascinated by the dynamics of a relationship with a step parent.
Step parent, yeah.
I'm fortunately for me, the woman that I've married is who I've had all my children with.
Mm-hmm.
And we remain together, but the dynamic of that step parent bringing someone into your home that doesn't love your kids like you do, man, that's a fucking tough one, buddy.
Yeah, man, I feel like it's one extreme or the other. Like,
yeah,
they're either completely there and they're cool, or they fucking suck.
Or they suck bad.
I got the latter.
Yeah, you definitely did. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good, man.
I think that
What can you do?
and it's tough to love somebody's kids that aren't, necessarily your kid.
Yeah.
But then someone that inherits a stepchild and just says, you know what, I'm going to take care of this kid. This is my kid. That's different. But yeah, I hear more stories of like, oh, my stepdad's a fucking asshole. He's a piece of shit.
Right.
My stepmom's a bitch. I hear a lot more of those stories than anything
Oh, yeah,
else.
I do too. Yeah, naturally.
It's a strange dynamic, I will say for sure. About the time that he started to go through puberty, he discovered his attraction to other boys.
Yeah.
He was a homosexual.
Okay.
Started to have some homosexual tendencies.
Good for him.
Oh, real good for him. But this is a different time and a different place. This is the 1950s.
Sure, yeah.
He had great shame, and he hated that he liked other boys. He didn't think that it felt right, and that this was very much taboo, more so then than now. So he hid his sexuality. One weird way he tested his sexuality is one night.
Oh my gosh.
He laid between his brother and his sister. So he had his sister Sylvia and his brother Olaf Jr. He laid between the two of them.
God damn it.
And he started groping his sister. She didn't wake up. He said, I don't like that very much. So then he started grabbing Olaf Jr.'s dick and flopping it around just to see which one he liked more.
Man.
And then his brother Olaf, the miniature snowman, woke up and he's like, hey, why are you fucking with my wiener, dude? He said, excuse me, why are you playing with my penis? Please, brother, get off my penis. I'd very much like it if you'd put your mouth on my penis. You've got very rough hands. Ever since Father Andrew's been drinking all your Mountain Dew, your hands are very rough. So he's trying both flavors.
Please quit wanking me, brother.
I think everybody in the coming of age should have to lay down next to a man and a woman.
And
Grab
wank their brother.
Grab a handful of hairy puss and then grab a half flaccid stinky wiener. And then you got to decide which one you like more. And that's when you decide, like, hey, man, I like girls or I like...
like test driving a car.
It's so fucking stupid. But it's got to be an old one. Like, it's got to be the people that, it's got to be like a 65-year-old dick and a 65-year-old vagina. It can't be you got to experience the worst of the worst before you...
I guess that's true.
Start from the bottom, now up.
Yeah.
Kind of that shit. That was his way of testing the water. So I don't know if I'd necessarily try it on my brothers, although I did all the time when I was younger. They'd be like, hey, man, why you grab my balls? I'm like, why are you sleeping naked?
Why are you laying there looking so fucking sexy?
Why are you sleeping naked in your own room? Why am I grabbing your balls? Why aren't you grabbing my balls? Let's make this fucking real weird. Oh man! So, Dennis, he said, I gotta see. I think I like boys, but I don't know. So he laid down with his brother and his sister, grabbed a handful of his brother's dick, and said, "Oh yeah, that's what I like." But then his brother woke up, and Olaf Jr. said, "Hey man,
that's not cool.
Get off my penis! Get off my wanker, you wanker! Get off my bloody wanker!" And his brother went to school like, hey guys, that is humiliating.
Oh my gosh.
For that to happen. And he didn't go to school. I know there's a lot of derogatory terms he could have used, but he just kept on calling him a hen, which I guess in Scottish slang is as a girl or a woman is what you call it.
Okay.
Kind of a slang, we kind of derogatory slang here. We call a woman a bitch. There they call him a hen. It's kind of the derogatory slang. So he was going to school, and everyone's like, my brother's a hen. And I think he kind of told everybody, like, hey, I woke up, my brother was jacking me off. Or whatever.
Naturally, as one would do.
Probably liked it. I don't know.
He may have.
I like surprise hand jobs. Who wouldn't like a surprise hand job?
Not from your brother, but
he really got bullied at school. After this, he had a hard time at school, and that literally something like that will shape your entire adolescence. It will ruin your. Yeah. I remember that one kid we went to school with, and he got a boner one time, and everyone called him Wiener from that day forward. They just called him Wiener. That was his name. That was his nickname. All because he got one little boner. It wasn't really a little boner, good sized boner for a 12-year-old, but if for keeping score at home,
good for him.
Yeah. He had a really hard time after that. He got bullied. Everybody, his brother and everybody called him a hen. And at the age of 14, he joined the Army Cadet Force, which I think is similar to American version of like a ROTC. And that's just kind of like you join this cadet program, and it prepares you for your life after school in the military. And I guess this is the precursor before you join the British Army. So he was in the Army Cadet Force. It was part of the cadet program where he was sent to a city in West Germany. I didn't even write the name down because it was a lot harder than Olaf to read.
Too many consonants.
Yeah, to help with this, with his shyness and his awkwardness, he would just get shit-faced drunk.
Amen, brother.
He would just get to drinking, and he would just turn into the most majestic social butterfly. He would talk to everybody. He just had no qualms. He was good to go. Had a huge fucking sausage on him. I don't know if that was the case at all, but
who knows?
One evening, he got so drunk that he blacked out and he woke up on the floor of one of his German friends' apartments. And he's still a kid. He's like 16 or 17 at this time. He's not even a fucking adult. But I don't know what the fuck they're doing in Germany where these kids have their own apartments, but you need to stop doing that because that's bad. Like it's
a recipe for disaster.
You can't give a 15-year-old an apartment.
No, that's way too much power,
especially without an Xbox to keep them busy.
Oh man,
they're just gonna fuck each other. That's all they're gonna do.
Yeah, I've been doing some hood rat shit.
Yeah, he's definitely doing. Well, he gets drunk and he blacks out in his friend's apartment, his fellow 15-year-old friend's own apartment. And according to his friend and Dennis's own recollection, there was no sexual activity that occurred between the two. And even if there was, that's completely fine.
That's them.
Everyone likes a good sucking every once in a while. But this instance lit a fire inside of Dennis of a wild fantasy that he would go on to have for the rest of his life. It really turned him on thinking about his partner or him being completely immobilized and having sex forced upon them. So he was thinking, he could have done whatever he wanted to me, but he took his time. He let me sleep, but how hot would it have been if I would have laid there? So then going forward, he would go to these parties and get completely fucking shit-ripped drunk, and he would pretend to pass out. He's like setting the bait, and he would pretend to pass out just so he could get someone to make sexual advances towards him. So he would go to the party and drink, 3 or 4 schnapps and just be like, oh no, I think I've drank way too much. And then he'd pass out with his wiener out.
He just sit there, spread leg.
Spread eagle.
Fucking hog just dangling his whole butthole.
I fell asleep, spread my own butt cheeks. Oh, sure would be a really bad idea for someone to fuck the living shit out of me. And he would pretend to pass out at these parties.
Oh man,
I do that to my wife all the time. I'll throw my hand on her tit when she's sleeping, and then I'll start jiggling it when she wakes up. I'm like, shh, just to see if, and then she starts backing up into me like she's in heat, and I know I'm good. I'm in the clear.
That's that old fisherman term, dangling the bait.
That's what he's doing too.
He's just dangling it.
Sure would hate for someone to rape me. Hope there's no rapers here this evening at the party, at the pub. Any raping? Yeah. So he was,
please no one shag me arse.
Yeah, he was really looking for someone just to obliterate his butthole.
Oh, man.
Didn't work out for him. No luck.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. He didn't have any luck with this. He eventually going to pass his catering exam, which I can't believe is very fucking hard to do.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
What is a catering exam?
I don't know.
27 pancakes right now. Get it going. Do they even eat pancakes in Great Britain? Probably not. No. That's only an American thing. What the fuck are pancakes? They're like, you mean to tell me that you eat cake for breakfast? Yeah, we fucking syrup, butter. We just fry that motherfucker. You fry the cake. Yeah, we just put it on top of the stove, and then we grill it up, and then we have pancakes for breakfast. What the fuck are pancakes? I don't know if pancakes... They do crepes in some parts.
Tell me you love crepes.
Pancakes is a fucking gut bomb in the morning, man.
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
It is a lot. But then you're so recklessly hungry like an hour and a half after you eat pancakes.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are like that for me, though. I'll
All
eat
breakfast food. If I eat cereal, I'm viciously hungry an hour later.
Yeah, I'm like that if I eat Chinese food, man.
Yep.
If I eat Chinese food, give me an hour, and I'm fucking ready to go again.
Like a popcorn fart in my stomach. It's nothing. So he passes his catering exam. I don't know what that entailed, but he knocked it out of the park.
Good for him.
And he was deployed as a cook in the British Army in Norway, eventually moving to be a cook at a military prison in Yemen.
Oh, shit.
And this was a very bad time to be in Yemen. I know there was a lot of...
Has there ever been a good time?
Yeah, there's not a good time to be in Yemen.
I was gonna say.
But he had an Arabian or an Arab taxi cab driver that was giving him a ride, and the dude fucking hit him in the head with a tire iron.
Oh, no.
Hit Dennis in the head with a tire iron. So at this point, Dennis is like... Oh, yes, finally it's happening.
Finally, I don't have to pretend.
Oh, yes. He probably come as soon as the fucking tire iron.
I know you're going to hit me in the head, but can you please bend me over first?
Could you please see to it that you make me bleed? Oh, man.
Shoot some spunk into my stinker. Right.
So, but I don't know there was a lot of abductions going on during this time in Yemen. So the dude from Yemen cracks him in the head with the tire iron, throws him in the trunk. They kept on calling it the boot of the car. I'm presuming it's a trunk.
Yeah, it's a trunk.
Throws him in the trunk. Dennis comes back to while he's in the back of the trunk. I think when the dude hit him with the tire iron, he threw the tire iron in the back seat in the trunk with him. So then when the guy
kind of stupid
came back to pop the trunk to get him out, Dennis was ready with the same tire iron, clobbered that motherfucker, knocked him out, and threw him in the trunk, closed it, and then ran away. So that guy's probably still in Yemen in the back of that trunk right now as we speak.
Well, I mean, at least he got out of that situation.
He did. But he didn't. I don't think he got exactly what he wanted.
Oh, okay.
But he did get what he wanted eventually because he got his own room there in the military. He was at one point he was having to share a room with people. It made it really awkward because he was homosexual, and that was kind of frowned upon at the time. But when he got his own room, he got a freestanding mirror, and he found out that he could position the mirror just right to where he had this extreme fetish to where he wanted to have sex with a man while the man was unconscious. Mm-hmm. And he could finagle the mirror just right to where the mirror wouldn't show his head, but he could still look at himself. And he would jack off to his lifeless body. That was kind of like his thing, is he would position the mirror.
Jeez, he's putting a lot of thought into it.
Yeah. Dude, I think I can jack off in 15 seconds. I don't need to be setting up a mirror. I don't need a fucking booby trap to jack off. I can get it done in 15 or 20 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that game show that were like, I can name it with 5 letters?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can do it with 4 letters. Or I can name that song in 3 seconds. Yeah, that's it. It's the music thing. I can name that song in 1 second. They should do a jack-off version of that. You and I will be the hosts, but then we'll also be the first contestants.
Okay.
And Rob Dog's like, I can ejaculate in 17 seconds. And then I'll be like, I can do it in 12. And then you guys do it, prove it. And then I got to jack off in under 12 seconds. Tell me that wouldn't be, we're going to start an OnlyFans page, and that's just what we're going to do.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
All the contestants win.
Except for the people that watches us. Those are the people that lose.
It's the people that see how we have our mirror positioned.
Yeah. So he's got this mirror positioned just right. He doesn't even have to look at his own head. It just, all he sees is his lifeless body. And he would simulate sex with a masculine partner in the mirror as well, which I don't know. Oh, give me your butt. I don't know how you simulate sex with a masculine partner when you're the only person there.
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to think if, like, in Australia, you could get a really strong kangaroo. They're kind of jacked looking.
Hell yeah, they are.
But I don't know what you'd get in Great Britain. What kind of animal you could bring home to simulate a masculine man?
Fucking stork or something?
Stork. Exactly.
Yeah.
I got myself a big, strong stork in here. I've been jacking off to him for 3 or 4 days. It's wonderful. It's great, I tell you. And he really could do a lot with this mirror. He could reach climax. He could jack off to his own lifeless body, which really turned him on. Now, this was all in Yemen. He eventually moved back to Germany, where he would go on to secure a female prostitute.
Okay.
Yes, you heard that right. A female prostitute. His first sexual encounter with a woman, his entire life, aside from grabbing his sister on the booger, he got this female prostitute. And he found the experience to be, quote, overrated and depressing.
Damn.
She definitely didn't wash very well. So he finally had sex with a woman, and the adjectives he used to describe it was overrated and depressing.
I've never described it like that, so I guess I'm not.
No, sometimes I'll ask my wife, like, how was it? She'll be like, oh, it was okay. And I'll be like, I'm overrated and depressing, all right. Yeah, you are, but I still love you. So this helped him come to the concrete conclusion that he was indeed a homosexual. I would recommend your first time having sex to be in somewhat of an intimate kind of setting where the woman you're having sex with doesn't have to be paid and she actually desires your touch. And that goes for men and women.
Yeah, it does make it a little better.
Hey guys, Nicolicious here. I know it's not comfortable to talk about mental health sometimes, but it is indeed something important and something that matters, and it's something that we do need to talk about. You may find something that's interfering with your goals and happiness, and you may find yourself in a position where you need help. And guys, don't be too ashamed to ask for that help. I've been there. I know the fight. I know the struggle. And our friends at BetterHelp may be the answer that you are looking for. No matter what you're struggling with, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping problems, trauma, grief, family conflicts, anger, they're going to be able to help you. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available, and BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. You're going to get quick and timely responses, and you're going to be able to connect right now. You can send a message to your counselor anytime, and it's not self-help, it's professional counseling. And you don't have to take my word for it, or you can, because they've helped me out immensely. There's tons of testimonials on their website, and I want you to start living a happier life today. And as a listener of the BroHio podcast, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/BroHio. Again, that's betterhelp.com/BroHio. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BroHio. Tell them that Nicolicious sent you. We got a live show this weekend, which means we're going to be in a hotel, which means I'm going to be alone in a hotel with my wife, which means I'm going to have my trusty BLUECHEW. And she's already asked. She said, hey, are you going to have your BLUECHEW? Because she knows with BLUECHEW, I'm going to be longer and stronger. I'm going to make some extra rounds, if you know what I'm saying. Because BLUECHEW is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. BLUECHEW's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections, which she's really looking forward to combat all forms of erectile dysfunction. And it's an online prescription service, so no awkward doctor visits. You do everything online. They're going to prescribe it. It's going to come to your door in a discreet package, so that way your mailman doesn't know you're getting boner pills, but it's okay either way. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and they're going to get you squared away, guys. And we've got a special deal for the listeners of the BroHio podcast. You get to try BLUECHEW for free. All you have to do is pay for shipping. Again, you're going to get to try it for free, FREE. Go to BlueChew.com. Use the promo code BROHIO, BROHIO. Again, that's BlueChew.com. Promo code BROHIO. All you have to do is pay $5 for shipping, and you're going to get your first month free. And we would like to thank BLUECHEW for sponsoring the BroHio podcast. Again, guys, go to BlueChew.com. Longer, stronger erections. Use that promo code BROHIO. And thank you to BLUECHEW for sponsoring the BroHio podcast. Anytime I get to tell you guys about free food, I'm a very happy dude. And our friends at HelloFresh are back again with some very special deals and some free food. Fall is a very important time for family, but you can miss out on that family time if you're planning meals, going to the grocery store, but HelloFresh is going to take out all that guesswork for you, all the back and forth. What do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? They're going to take care of all that for you. HelloFresh has lots of family-friendly menu options, and it's going to be a big win for back to school when the time is very little. HelloFresh offers 50 menu and market items to choose from every week, from vegetarian meals and calorie-smart choices. The fall harvest is officially on with HelloFresh. You can count on seasonal recipes like pumpkin cinnamon rolls, and Friendsgiving ready sides, as well as fresh, high-quality ingredients that travel from the farm to your front door in less than a week, and you're going to get a lot better value from HelloFresh. It's over 30% cheaper than shopping in a grocery store with pre-portioned ingredients that ensure you won't spend money on excess food that ends up going in the trash. Friendsgiving. You had me at Friendsgiving, HelloFresh. And legit, every single thing I've tried from HelloFresh has been absolutely delicious. I can throw one recipe at you, or I can throw all of them at you. Everything I've tried has been absolutely incredible, to the point I've gone back and reordered and got tons of items from HelloFresh. I couldn't be happier with the food that comes from HelloFresh. And I would like for you to try HelloFresh today. All you have to do is go to HelloFresh.com/Brohio14, and you're going to get 14 free meals, including shipping. There's no strings attached, guys. It's free food, and I'm telling you, once you try it, you're going to love it. Again, guys, go to HelloFresh.com/Brohio14 for up to 14 free meals. You're going to use the promo code Brohio14 if it asks. 14 free meals from America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh. He spent all those years in the military. He would go on to retire from the military in 1972 at the age of roughly 27. He returned to his hometown in Scotland, where his mother would cause quite a stir about Dennis having no interest in women.
Shut the fuck up, Mom.
Yeah. Nilsen and his brother attended a group watching of a documentary on male homosexuality. Now, let me tell you something. If at the ripe old age of 12, I wake up and my brother's jacking me off, chances are, when we're 27, I'm not going to take him to a documentary on male homosexuality.
Yeah, definitely not.
Right before we walk in the theater and be like,
I'm going to show my dick again.
Bro, you remember that time you were jacking me off? Oh, yeah. I'm quite fond of that. Well, yeah, that's why I brought you here. Everyone present spoke of this, just how derogatory and nasty homosexuality was, and how they didn't like it. It was taboo, except for Nilsen, who defended gay rights. I call him Nilsen, but his name's Dennis. He defended gay rights. A fight between Nilsen and his brother ensued, and after its conclusion, Nilsen's brother, Olaf Jr., told their mother that Dennis was a homosexual. This led to an estrangement between Dennis and his brother.
Fucking snitch.
And in December, he left Strickton, Scotland, for London to join the Metropolitan Police, where he would become a Metropolitan Police officer. He would join the force for about 1 year, all while frequenting gay pubs around town. He did go on to receive a 1,000-pound inheritance from his biological father.
That's heavy. How do you carry all that?
I know, 1,000 pounds. He definitely need a forklift for
God,
that.
he's jacked.
Yeah. You're looking for that masculine man in the mirror. You're looking at him, buddy.
No wonder you just sit there and just jerk off of them big old fucking hamstrings he had.
Pounds.
1,000 pounds?
That's what I do to the pussy. Pound it.
Give it 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. I'm going to give you 1,000 pounds. I'm going to lay on it. So he gets a 1,000-pound inheritance. I don't even know how much that is. Is it Yemen or those yens or sand dollars? What the fuck is a pound? Which was enough for him to quit the police force with his $1,000.
I guess it's enough to do that.
Yeah. It wasn't long before he settled at a new job as a civil servant, and he worked for the government for many, many years. His position as a civil servant, he would find jobs for unskilled laborers, much like Rob and I. We have no skills.
Not at all.
He was an absolute workaholic and continued to receive promotions throughout his career as a civil servant. So he would pen to paper, was always showing up. He was always there doing good shit. During this time, he would go through a lot of different relationships, feeling he was kind of dating men, moving around a lot, but he felt like he was just an object for these men, their own sexual gratification, and he longed for something long term. But he eventually come to the realization that he was unfit to have a partner, that he was unfit for a long-term relationship. He just felt like he wasn't worthy of something like that, which is kind of sad.
That is sad.
But on December 30th, 1978, inside the Cricklewood Arms pub, which of all the places, if it's not Narnia, it's the Cricklewood Arms pub.
That sounds like a really bad disorder where like your arm just bend every which way.
I've got the Cricklewood.
I've got Cricklewood arms.
Look at my Cricklewood arms. Well, there he was at the Cricklewood Arms pub. Dennis met 14-year-old Stephen Holmes. No relation to John Holmes. He's about a 20-foot dick.
I was going to say that.
Holmes, like I said, 14 years old inside the pub,
Oof.
had unsuccessfully attempted to purchase alcohol inside the pub, and he was kicked out. And Dennis, at the time, he was a little drunk, so cut him a little bit of slack, but offered the boy to come home back to his flat and drink some drinks and have some music. I'm sorry. drink some music and have some drunk. To which the young Stephen, he obliged. He said, sure, I'll go back with you, mister, as long as you don't put your penis inside me.
Just don't do me like you did your brother.
I think I would probably I'd welcome that advance.
Hey,
Dennis claims that he thought the boy was 17, which makes it okay.
sure. Yeah, it's okay then.
But the boy was really 14.
Ouch.
But they did do just that. They went back to Dennis's flat. They drank, and then they fell asleep. Well, allegedly, nothing sexual happened, but I don't believe it. The next morning, after Dennis woke up, he discovered that Stephen was still sleeping. Those silly teenagers. You're a big old sleepyhead, aren't you? At this point, he feared Holmes would leave him alone on New Year's Eve, because remember, this is December 30th. So when they wake up, it's December 31st. He was afraid that the boy would leave him on New Year's Eve, so he needed to figure out a way to keep him there. And of all the things, you could wait for the fucking kid to wake up. He came home and had drinks with him the night before. Say, hey, stay through tomorrow night.
You want to drink again tonight?
I'll get you food. I'll feed you through. Let's just have fun. Let's just be together. No, instead of doing that, he strangled Stephen with a necktie until he was unconscious.
I think that's what I'm going to have to do to get you to stay at my house longer.
Yeah. He then drowned the boy in a bucket of water in the kitchen, which he died from being drowned. After he killed him, he masturbated twice over top his body. After he was done, he hid the body under a floorboard in his house.
That's a small body.
He would eventually burn the body 8 months later behind his house. And
oh my gosh. To
quote Dennis, he said, I eased him into his new bed beneath the floorboards. A week later, I wondered whether his body had changed at all and had started to decompose. I disinterred him and pulled the dirt-stained youth up onto the floor. His skin was very dirty. I stripped myself naked and carried him into the bathroom and washed the body. There was practically no discoloration and his skin was pale white. His limbs were more relaxed than when I had put him down in the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he fucking killed him. He buried him in the floorboards under his house, and then he disinterred him.
You could tell just by the way he's explaining that he's getting his jollies just relating this.
Yeah, I did a real good job jacking off on this kid.
It's fucking awful.
You got to keep it. This is a pretty gruesome episode. Not really, but it gets a little nasty. He does a lot of disinterring, and we'll get there in a little bit. In October, he met a student from Hong Kong, Andrew Ho, in another pub, and lured him to his apartment with the promise of sex. But Ho escaped when Nilsen tried to strangle him. Nilsen was questioned about this incident by police, but Ho declined to press charges. So at this point, he's got one body under his, he got one in his body count, and this guy, Andrew Ho, he was able to escape. 2 months later, Nilsen met a Canadian student, Kenneth Ockenden, in a pub and offered to show him several London landmarks. After giving him the tour, Dennis invited Ockenden over to his apartment. Then he strangled him to death while he was listening to music.
Damn.
And I want to say that he actually, the headphones that Ockenden was using to listen to the music, that was the same cord that Dennis used to wrap around his neck and strangle him. The following morning, Dennis staged Ockenden's body in a number of suggestive positions, photographed it each time, and watched television with the corpse by his side. Afterward, he wrapped it in plastic and hid it under the floorboards. During the next 2 weeks, Dennis dug up and reburied Ockenden's body 4 separate times. Every time after he dug up the body and before he reburied it, he would place the body on an armchair where it remained while Dennis drank and watched television.
Holy shit. I've never been that desperate for someone to hang out with me.
He would get so fucking drunk. He's like, I gotta take that guy back up. I gotta show somebody else this. This is good shit, man.
Yeah, I'm having a fucking good night. I want to share this night with someone else.
And he would dig the body up and then he would just put it in the armchair and have it sit next to him while he drank.
That's a lot of work for fucking...
How fucking weird do you have to be? The only people you can get to hang out with you are dead
people that you've killed.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. That's weird.
So they're chilling there watching TV, and Dennis is like, "You're not really talking very much this evening."
Just a fucking weekend at Bernie's, these guys.
That's what it sounds like. Oh, man. So the next victim was 16-year-old hitchhiker Martin Duffy, who was first strangled in his sleep and then drowned in the kitchen sink. Afterward, Nilsen took Duffy's body to the bathroom and bathed with him. They took a bath together. So he would kill and this is kind of another one of his MOs. After he would kill him, he would take baths with him. He would just give him like a little complimentary bath. They would.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, boy.
Yeah. After he killed Duffy, he kissed him and complimented and masturbated over Duffy's body repeatedly over the following 2 days.
Ever the gentleman.
When the body became bloated, Dennis hid it under the floorboards. And in an interview, Dennis said he was talking about this specific murder. And he said, when he started to get bloated, I said, "Off you go, off to the floorboards." Like it was not being.
Damn.
He made it seem like it was this dude's fault that he was starting to stink and bloat up because he's dead. But in this specific murder, the Martin Duffy, he complimented many times during subsequent interviews about how this was the youngest looking man that he ever that he ever killed. So of all the people that he killed. And that total would actually get pretty high. This one, he had the softest, most sensual he was the young boy, which this really got a lot to get his pickle going. This really did it for Dennis.
Reminded him of his brother.
He did. "Could you please lie there and pretend like you're sleeping? Let me grab hold of your wiener." Before the end of 1980, Dennis had murdered 5 more victims.
Wow.
And much like these prior murders, these were just people that he would invite over. He would strangle them. And that's a fucking bad dude. Just he never shot anybody, never stabbed anybody. He always did it.
Bare hands.
Strangled
hands, yeah. In a water bucket.
In a water bucket. He would drown him in the bathtub or he'd drown him in the kitchen. Now, dealing with the smell and presence of maggots, because he's burying all these people under the floorboards, Dennis started to use insecticide and deodorant on the dead bodies, which I highly doubt that worked.
Yeah, that's only going to get you so far, my friend.
He would continuously disinter these bodies. He would dig them back up, but he said when he would bring the bodies back up out of the ground, they'd have maggots crawling out of the eyes and the mouth, and that he couldn't really do too much with them because of that, which is fucking gross.
Yeah.
So he'd start covering the bodies twice a day with insecticides. And then he would spray, put deodorants down there in the floorboards. But he said it got to the point where just the fucking smell alone was too much to handle being inside the house.
Damn.
But dude, he was like, for 3 or 4 days, a body starts to get really ripe at the end of day 2 and day 3.
Yeah.
Really fucking stinky.
You get all them gases and shit that build up.
Buddy. But into day 3 and day 4, he was still digging them up and putting them on the couch next to him.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's essentially recycling that like dead body air from the ground. And it's just like going into his... It's just, he's just like reventilating everything.
Oh, man. Bring him up and give him a little tuggy. Put him back in the ground. Oh, at one point, he moved all the bodies from the floorboard into a bonfire in the backyard, which probably needed to happen at this point because of the smell. He threw some car tires on the fire for good measure to help hide the stench. A burning car tire smells so goddamn bad.
Awful.
And that's what he would do is he'd drag these bodies and put them on the bonfire, and then he'd throw car tires on them. And this very first fire, the children from around the neighborhood kind of gathered around and watched as he burned these bodies, but he threw the car tires on the fire, fortunately, so they kind of masked the smell of death and and flesh. And he made a kind of weird comment about the boys. He said, it was kind of ironic that these boys were gathered around to watch this fire, and the likelihood of one of them would be next. How ironic that was to him. In March 1982, Dennis invited over John Howlett for a drink. After Howlett fell asleep in his bed, Dennis sat by his side and continued drinking before he tried to strangle him. However, Howlett awoke and struggled with Dennis. Good job. Finally, someone that fought back.
Yes.
Almost overpowering him. He was eventually strangled to unconsciousness 3 times. So it sounds like Dennis might have had a little change of heart here because he had to strangle, he choked this dude out 3 times. After Dennis realized that he was still breathing, he filled the bathtub with water and drowned Howlett for 5 minutes.
Oh, God.
Nilsen subsequently dismembered the body, flushed the flesh and organs down the toilet, and threw the bones in the trash can.
Damn.
So this guy did not get the luxury of being burned in the backyard. Then there's Carl Stoddard. Carl Stoddard, this is one that's probably the most fun of all the people that he killed. Stoddard slept in a sleeping bag.
Okay.
And he awoke to Nilsen strangling him in the sleeping bag.
Hell of a way to wake up.
And after Dennis strangled him, he took him to the bathtub and forcefully immersed him in the water in an attempt to kill him. Believing that he had indeed killed Stoddard, Dennis placed Stoddard on an armchair, much like he'd done everyone before that. You make him sit there fucking dead and
hang out with me,
watch TV with me. However, he realized that Stoddard was still alive when his dog Bleep jumped over and began to lick Stoddard's face because Bleep never fucked with the dead bodies at all. When the dog knew, and it kind of hits home for me, he had a really beautiful border collie, black and white, named Bleep, and Bleep would lick the people like they would come over and hang out. Bleep would lick their faces, but as soon as they would die, the dog's like, "No, fuck that! I'm not licking that dude.
Something ain't right here."
So then Dennis looked over and saw Bleep licking this dead guy's face. So he said, "Oh, something's a little off here." And he went over there, and the dude was still alive. So Dennis, for whatever reason, he decided to resuscitate Stoddard, gave him some CPR, and later told him that he had accidentally strangled himself after being stuck in the sleeping bag zipper.
Oh my gosh, no fucking way.
And the dude believed him. He said, "All right, that sounds totally believable."
Wow.
Over the next 2 days, Stoddard fell unconscious several times and had flashes of Dennis strangling and drowning him. Stoddard asked Dennis about the memories. "I vaguely remember you trying to kill me inside my sleep sack." But
my sleep sack.
But Nilsen explained that Stoddard would have nightmares whenever he was struck.
Man, this is crazy.
He told him, he said, "You're going to keep having nightmares. You're really hung up in that sleeping bag." So Dennis explained that Stoddard would have nightmares whenever he was stuck in the zip, and that he would place Stoddard in cold water to help him recover from the shock. Nilsen invited Stoddard to stay over again, but he declined.
Good.
So he did get away from
good on you.
From Dennis. But man, Dennis had this guy believing, so he'd knock him out, he'd strangle him, and then he'd try and drown him in the water. But he convinced this dude, like, "No, you fucking got hung up in the sleeping bag. I saved your life, and in order to get you out of the shock, I had to splash some water on you," which would inevitably make, think about that you're like, maybe he's right. Maybe I wasn't really drowning.
Yeah.
It was just this dude splashing some water on me, but he left, and
that's crazy.
One of the few ones that made it out alive.
Man.
This one comes from, I copy this directly from Wikipedia because I could not sum this up any better.
Cool.
This is the final victim to be murdered at his current home. So the house, the flat that he was in had the floorboards, and this is the last person that was murdered there. This was 23-year-old Malcolm Barlow, whom Dennis discovered slumped against a wall outside his home on September 17th, 1981. When Dennis went outside to ask about Barlow's welfare, because he was epileptic, he was informed the medication Barlow was prescribed for his epilepsy had caused his legs to weaken. So Dennis, being the Good Samaritan, suggested that Barlow should be in a hospital, and supporting him, kind of, held him up from falling over himself, walked him inside his house before phoning an ambulance. So this guy, Malcolm, was it Malcolm Barlow?
Malcolm Barlow, yep.
He's outside Dennis's home. He's got weak knees. He's got the stanky leg. He's out there falling over himself. Do the stanky leg. Do the stanky. And then Dennis rolls outside and says, "Hey there, mate. and he wants to help him out. Sorry, mate, that's Australia.
It's Australia. Yeah,
it's okay.
Sorry.
It's all the same. I'm just kidding. It's not the same. It's vastly different.
Hey there, you bloke.
Yeah. So he goes outside and sees that he's struggling. He says, come inside. I'm going to help you. That's the last fucking place any man in the entire world would want to be, is to go inside that hell house of doom, because you're going to get your ass choked out and stuffed under the floorboards. This guy somehow manages to get Dennis to call an ambulance for him. So the ambulance comes and takes Barlow to the hospital and gets him fixed. Barlow was released from the hospital and returned to Dennis's house the next day. And he went back to Dennis's house to say, hey, thanks for saving me, man.
You're a good Samaritan.
I was out there going down and you saved me. So Dennis said, well, why don't you come inside for just a minute?
Jesus Christ. Man.
And after eating a meal together, they began drinking rum and Coke before falling asleep on the sofa. Dennis manually strangled Barlow as he slept before stowing his body beneath the kitchen sink the following morning.
Damn.
This guy just goes back to say, hey, thanks, buddy. I was in a bad way. I needed some help. You were there for me. I just want to say thank you. And Dennis says, how about you step inside for just a second so we can have some rum and Coke, have some food, have some tea and crumpets.
Ooh.
And he fucking strangled his ass. Whacked him. Took him out.
Man.
It is what it is, man. Love is a strange language. I know that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I do know one thing, though. These chickens, they come, they go.
Makes me never want to thank anybody for doing anything nice to me.
I will never say thank you ever again.
Exactly.
Which begs the question. I've been meaning to ask you this in this podcast. You get to a door. There's a little vestibule inside of it, there's two doors.
Okay.
The person in front of you holds both doors for you. They hold the first door for you, then they hold the second door for you. Does that warrant one thank you for the beginning that covers both doors, or one thank you for both doors, or one thank you at the end?
I will do a thank you per door.
Thank you per door.
Yeah. I'll say thank you, and then I'll be like, oh, thank you again.
Yeah, I'll be very dad about it. Oh, yeah, thanks, bud. Oh, thanks, bud. Thanks, appreciate it, man.
Or I'll make sure that I grab the second door so I can let them through. So it's one or the other. But usually, if
the thanks are offset,
right, exactly. That's true. Yeah, if they do it on their own, yeah, I'll thank them for both.
If I see someone that's about to hold a door for me, what I do is I sprint ahead. So I run through the second door.
Yeah.
You ever heard of an Italian belt buckle?
No.
That's where you flip your balls above your waistband. So I sprint through the second door, and then I turn around, I hold the second door for him, and I flip my balls just above my waistband to where my balls are hanging out. It's called an Italian belt buckle.
Sure.
And then I let them in, and they're like, hey, nice belt buckle. And I'm like, thanks, man, it's Italian. And that's usually how we go about doing that. I give them a little Italian belt buckle.
Yeah.
You guys should try that. If you've ever had an Italian belt buckle before, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear about it. We'd love for you to.
For sure. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Tell us all about it. And did I tell you about that chorizo burger I had last night?
Yes, you did.
Very good. Very, very good. Took a little out of me. Put a little in me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Gonna be a lot coming out of you.
A lot coming out of me when I'm done with this. All right. We were talking about how this was the last murder that he would commit in this house. Well, his landlord paid him to vacate the property. He gave him £1,000 and said, move out. Get the fuck out of here. Because the landlord wanted to renovate the property to
God.
So initially, Dennis said, no, I'm not leaving here. I got skeletons, literally. I've got skeletons here. And he resisted. But then the landlord said, I'll give you £1,000 to move out. And Dennis said, okay, I think I'd probably do it for £1,000. So then he had to call off work to fucking burn the rest of the bodies that were under the floorboards. But without a hitch in the giddy up, they came and they renovated, and they didn't find anything when they renovated the property. So you would think this would be the part where the cops, nail him to the wall, but that's not the case.
Man.
But he moved from this flat, and he moved into an attic flat that didn't have floorboards.
No floorboards, yeah.
It didn't have a garden for him to do a bonfire. So this seriously complicated his operation at this point.
There was a wrench in the gears there.
Yeah, and he really didn't want to move because, god damn, he probably thought he would be dead to rights as soon as anyone got into that house besides him.
Sure.
Dennis's next victim was Graham Allen, who was offered a meal and subsequently strangled while he was eating an omelet.
Oh, man. That's a good way to go.
Yeah, of all the things I want to be eating when I go out, a ham and cheese Toddle House from Waffle House. That's that motherfucking shit, Jack.
Yeah, man. Omelets hit.
Yeah. Dennis would later claim that Allen had accidentally choked on it. During his interview, he said he didn't kill him, that the dude choked on the omelet, and he just, oh, well, when in Rome, you know.
If you choke to death on eggs, I feel like that's,
yeah,
you kind of deserve it.
Deserve to die.
Like the softest food you could possibly eat.
Oh, you get all your teeth pulled. You're like, what can I eat? And the doctor says, eggs. Those are okay. You can have some eggs. Allen's body was left in the bathtub for 3 days, and Dennis had to ask for a day off from work so he could dismember it. Because remember, his MO before this, he would just open up the floorboards, toss them in the ground, and give him, keep him a couple doses of deodorant and insecticides every day. He'd motherfucking stank off that thing, and he'd have no problems. But now he's in this attic. He doesn't have anywhere to put the body. He doesn't have anywhere to burn anything. So he had to request a day off. Just to chop this dude up. On January 26, 1983, Dennis killed his final victim. This was Stephen St. Clair, who was strangled while in an alcohol and drug-induced stupor on Nilsen's armchair. After killing him, Dennis noticed that Sinclair's wrists were bandaged. He removed them and discovered that Sinclair had tried to kill himself only a few days prior.
Oh, shit.
Dennis then bathed the corpse, applied talcum powder to it, and arranged mirrors around the bed before undressing himself and lying naked next to the dead youth. After several hours, Nilsen kissed the body, wished it goodnight, and fell asleep alongside it. The body was subsequently dismembered and the parts placed in different bags, with Sinclair's own bandages being used to seal the bags.
Damn, dude, that's cold.
Cold-blooded.
That's cold.
Throat cutting. Cold-blooded.
Oof.
You don't know nothing about this shit.
Man.
On February 4th, Dennis, he fucking fucked up. He complained to his landlord about the drains being clogged because he's flushing bodies down the toilet.
Flushing fucking skin down.
Seemingly unaware that it was the body parts of his own victims clogging the shitter. When plumber Michael Catran informed Dennis that he had found the drain packed with a fleshy substance and small bones, Dennis joked that someone was, quote, flushing their... Someone was flushing their Kentucky Fried Chicken down the toilet. That's what the...
Flushing that KFC, man.
So before the plumber could really come to the realization, hey, there's bones. There's meat and bones in the toilet. He goes to Dennis. And he says, hey, buddy, you're not going to believe this. This shit is clogged up. It's clogged up with fleshy, and bones. And Dennis is like, ha, 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 ha. People flushing the KFC down the toilet. I bet you if you did flush the KFC, it'd clog that motherfucker up.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Good-ass food, but I miss the days when, back in the 60s and the 50s when Dad was coming home from work and Mom didn't want to cook. Not that I remember this because I'm not a fucking time traveler.
We were born in the 80s, but it's okay.
But just a bucket of chicken. That was a delicacy.
Hell yeah.
That was what was coming to you. That was good shit, and nobody complained about that.
Yeah, that was good eating, man.
If I brought home just KFC, I would maybe have one or two people in my home eat. It would be me and maybe my wife a little bit. Maybe one of the kids. I hate, and dude, you go through this more, and whenever I see you going through this, I think to myself, that poor motherfucker. Everyone in your house, man.
Yeah, nobody eats the same thing.
Fucking 12 different places to eat. I can't.
Right.
We have to do that sometimes.
I'll usually pick one of the places that the kids pick because I don't want to go to a different place, even if I don't want it.
I've been at your house before, and I saw your wife come home with like 5 different bags of stuff.
Yeah, and then you're just defeated. You're like, will you please just eat something from here? No, I don't want that. Sometimes it's got to be like, you're going to eat it or you're not going to eat.
You got to let them starve, dude.
Yes.
They'll eat.
Exactly.
I don't ever remember getting a choice when I was a kid.
Yeah.
These kids are spoiled,
They
dude.
really are.
I get home, I'd be like, Mom, what's for dinner? She'd be like, whatever I put on your goddamn plate. And I'd be like, you fucking bitch. Yeah. And then I call her the B word, and my dad would beat the shit out of me. And to this day, that last time my dad tried to whip my ass, I bowed up like a cobra. I bit back, dude. I straightened him out with a left hook. To this day, he won't look me in the eye.
Dropped him.
I'm just kidding. My dad picked me up once with one arm and choked me and dropped me, and I was so scared that I pissed myself like a dog. I still won't fuck with him. I'll tell him all the time. Like, I'll talk shit. I'll say, I'm going to whip your ass, dude. I'll talk to my wife, Stacy. I'll say, I'll whip my dad's ass. she'll call my dad and be like, he said he's going to whip your ass. I'm like, Dad, shut up, man. I wasn't saying that shit. Tell her to shut the fuck up. So she's always trying to dime me out for something.
Robert comes at me. I'll drop that motherfucker.
I'll drop that motherfucker. I'll call him right now and tell him. So the plumber and his supervisor returned the next morning to clear the drain, but found that someone else had cleaned the drain before them.
Look at him.
Uh-oh. Suspicious, they examined the pipes leading to the drain and found more bones and scraps of flesh in a pipe coming from the top floor of the house where Dennis resided. Man. Yeah, so after hearing that people were flushing their fucking KFC, Dennis, being the good Samaritan that he was in the middle of the night, went down there and got all the KFC out of the drain by himself. After informing the police, a pathologist confirmed that the bones were indeed human.
Ooh.
And that one of the flesh scraps was part of a neck bearing marks typical of ligature strangulation.
Wow. The fact that they could still tell that's pretty good. That's crazy.
It's incredible. As 3 officers waited for Dennis to come home, they noticed the smell of decomposition at his front door. Dennis first feigned shock when the officers told him that the blockage was caused by human remains. So they said, "We've got something to tell you. That blockage, those are human remains, not KFC." And I think he was quoted as saying, "Oh, God, no. Who would do such a thing?" But when they told him to tell them the location of the rest of the bodies, he led them to one of the closets containing the remains. So he narked on himself right away. And much from what I can tell, the dude just felt like he'd had the weight of the world lifted off of his shoulders when he finally got the opportunity to give himself up. He was having a hard time with this.
You think?
At this point, he had killed and disposed of 15 fucking people.
Holy shit.
Some of these murders were so much the same that we just didn't even cover them. But at this point, he had 15 bodies that he had killed and disposed of. When asked if there were more, Dennis said that it was a long story. I bet it is. And that he would tell it all at the police station. While being driven there, an officer asked Dennis if the remains belonged to one person or two. Nilsen looked out of the window and replied, 15 to 16 since 1978.
Jeez.
Just in that amount of time, he'd killed 15 people. Dennis soon made a full confession and led officers to the lot where he destroyed the remains in Melrose Avenue. That's where the floorboards were.
Yeah.
However, he claimed that he had no intention to kill until the moment right before murder. He also claimed that he ignored the reasons for the murders, adding that he hoped the police would tell him. So the police are saying, "Why did you do this? What did you do this for?" And Dennis is like, "I hope you guys can tell me because I got no fucking idea why I did this."
Aren't you guys investigators?
Yeah. Yeah.
Figure that out.
You suck at your job. He was found guilty of 6 murders and 1 attempted murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole for 25 years.
Only 6?
Yeah, that's all they could, because a lot of these dudes that he killed were drifters. They didn't really have any family. No one knew who they were or if they were even gone. The possibility of parole was eliminated in 1994 by a Home Secretary, Michael Howard, who replaced Nilsen's sentence with one of whole life order. That means you ain't never getting out that motherfucker.
Getting it. Nope.
Dennis reacted to the news by saying that he accepted his life sentence and had no desire to be free ever again. On May 12th, 2018, so just about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's not too long ago.
Dennis died as a result of complications following a stomach surgery at the age of 72. While he was in prison, there was one incident where someone took a razor blade and slashed him across the face.
Ooh.
So he didn't have a traditional, like a typically easy prison bid there. He would kind of had a hard time. While incarcerated at the Full Sutton Prison in East Yorkshire, Dennis was transferred to a hospital in York on May 10th, suffering from abdominal pains. During the procedure, Dennis suffered a blood clot, and he later died. I can imagine that doctor just probably let him fucking go.
Yeah. You don't fight for those.
An autopsy ruled his cause of death was pulmonary embolism and retroperitoneal hemorrhage. James McKeith, one of the 2 psychiatrists testifying on behalf of Dennis's defense, declared that Dennis had a lack of emotional development and difficulty expressing any emotion but anger, constituting an unspecified personality disorder. The second psychiatrist, Patrick Galway, diagnosed Nilsen with a borderline pseudo-normal narcissistic personality disorder with occasional schizoid outbreaks that worsened as a result of social isolation. He was intellectually aware of his actions, but not of their nature. On the other hand, the prosecutor's own psychiatrist, Paul Bowden, argued that Dennis was only abnormal in a colloquial sense.
Colloquial?
Colloquial?
Yeah.
What a fancy, elegant word that was.
It is. It's beautiful.
He was instead a manipulative individual capable of forming relationships, but who had willingly chosen to objectify people and had no mental disorder as a result. So he was a sociopath. This guy was
He definitely had some problems.
he was a raging fucking psycho.
Definitely had some problems.
And through all my research, it never said that he had sex with these guys, like having sex with their bodies. Or
He just wanked on them.
He just jacked off over them and jacked off with them. He'd set them there on the chair next to him and just jack off with them while they're dead.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, he never did he?
And that's the thing, is it started off and it just got worse and worse and worse. That's the same thing for me. Probably started jacking off to porn when I was around 14 or 15 years old. And now I'm at the point where I'm just jacking off some really weird stuff. I jacked off to Cars the other day, like the Disney Pixar thing. Sometimes I'll get on the Food Network and really go to town.
That does it for me, man.
You know who's really been a crush of mine for many years, going back to around I was 18, 19 years old, is that girl, the cook, Giada?
Yeah, Giada. Yeah.
DeLaurinaitis.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like her?
Yeah, she's really pretty.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I think she's... Even Rachel Ray, I like her. I think I just like them because they can cook really well.
Yeah.
That's
love language right there, man.
That is my love language. And my wife can throw down, too. She's like, you want fried chicken for dinner? I'm like, yeah. You want your fucking pussy eaten like it's dinner? Because we can arrange either one. Yeah, man. So that's the story of Dennis Nilsen. He was a serial killer from Great Britain. Killed a lot of people. Killed 15 people. Guess who he didn't kill? Me and Rob Dog. And if you want to see us live and in flesh, you can have a bite of our flesh. We're going to
see us kill this show.
You want to see us kill each other? Come live, come one, come all. August 21st in Louisville, Kentucky.
I get to kill you first, so you can kill me after, though.
Yeah. We'll kill each other.
Sure.
We'll fight in the parking lot. If anybody wants to fight me.
In the VFW parking lot.
In the VFW parking lot. Show up to the show.
That's natural for them, I mean.
But I don't want you to have to walk up to me and make it awkward and say, I'm here to fight your big dumb ass. I want you to wear MMA gloves so I know that you're there to fight. So I can size you up during the show, and then I know what I'm getting myself into. I will not fight more than 3 men because I believe that's what my stamina, I can do 3 men.
4 women.
I will fight you in the order that I would like to fight you.
Okay.
So the weakest one, I will fight first. The strongest one, I will save for last.
I'll ref it.
Robert the ref. Robert referee. I'm going to fight you. But we have to be naked. That's the thing. The only way we're fighting is if we're naked. Because I like to go down to my primal urges, my deepest, stripped down, just like I'm in the cave. You're trying to steal my fucking megalodon eggs I got in there that I'm going to eat. My
if you can't fight a fully grown naked man with a boner, you don't deserve to be at the show.
I'm going to have a boner. I'm going to be chubbed up. I'm going to be rock fucking hard.
You don't deserve to be in the same parking lot if you don't want to fight a fully grown naked man with a boner.
This is not going to be an easy fight for you. I mean, I bite, I kick, I spit, I leak. I don't know why I leak, but I do. If I get doing something too hard and heavy, I'll shit my pants.
He'll do the Ric Flair begging.
Woo!
Please. That hit you with the low blow and you're not expecting it.
But just be ready. We're going to park the cars in a circle, turn the lights on bright. We're going to get fucking butt naked.
That sounds so fun. I'll wear like a bikini.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the card girl.
You be a card girl. Round 1. Okay, we got to get back to something. We gotta get back to animal fights, Rob. A lot of people like animal fights.
I know. I'm just thinking about this fight, man.
Fight, you want to do this? You're a big MMA dude. You
Yeah,
want this to happen?
I'm about it.
Someone's gonna show up in like fingerless gloves. And you're like, that's a fucking guy. I'm fucking doing it for real.
It's happening.
You're gonna be so excited.
Oh man.
I hope it's Jerry.
Oh shit, man. This
Cripple fight.
that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. We gotta get back to animal fights.
Okay.
I haven't thought about this at all this week, so
Yeah.
I'm just.
A lot of people talk about it, so I mean,
They do talk about it. Let's just think of one of the meanest, nastiest animals we can think of. Let me think here. I think we could probably find some on the old Google here.
okay.
Best fantasy animal fights. Probably gonna get some nasty fucking porn here.
Ooh, I saw that was a good one.
What was it?
The polar bear versus a walrus.
A polar bear versus a walrus. Let's do it right now.
Man,
Because we were both polar bears in high school.
we were. I had to go polar bear, man.
I gotta go polar bear. Although
Yeah.
a walrus is a
A
bad
walrus is a
dude.
bad motherfucker, but polar bears are always hungry.
They got them teeth.
Yeah, they
They
do.
look like fucking ancient Roman swords.
Yeah,
Tusks. I guess is what they're called.
yeah. Let's see what we got here.
Epic animal matchups. Let's click their link. Okay.
Oh shit, hell yeah.
We got a crocodile versus a hippo.
Oh, wait, these are books?
Oh my god.
Holy shit, there's a whole book series on this. Elephant versus a rhino. That's a fantasy fight right there. What we got?
Anaconda versus a jaguar. Let's do it right now.
Oh man. Ooh.
That's a good one. Anaconda versus a jaguar.
Anacondas are constrictors too, right?
Yes.
Okay. A jaguar definitely has more weapons,
Yeah, dude,
but an anaconda definitely has to be stronger, I would assume.
I think that
I think it depends on where the anaconda strikes.
I don't think we have to worry about striking as soon as
Well, I think we do, because if the strike isn't on a vital part, if it's like on a hind leg, the big cat still has its mouth and 3 sets of claws.
but I think if it gets its mouth on the anaconda, and it gets its claws in the anaconda, that's not enough to kill it, but that's enough for the anaconda to constrict.
coil, that's true.
And then I think that's all she wrote at that point.
Man, I don't know. Yep, I might have to. If we're talking about a fully grown big ass anaconda, maybe. I think the anaconda has.
And I'm not talking about a baby anaconda. 3 emperor penguins versus 134 meerkats.
Oh god, that's sad. I like meerkats.
I like meerkats.
I like the random ones like that.
32 goats versus 4 crocodiles.
Man, I think the goats might have it.
I don't know, dude. Crocodiles would eat. They would eat. I think
They can't eat 32 of them.
Yeah, man. I think
Those are good. I like the numbers, the number versions. That's the good one.
Is this like a fucking list here?
Wait, what?
Okay. A moose? No, this is kind of.
So it says, hang on, which animal would win in a fight according to Americans? You know, we're the fucking smartest. Respondents were asked to choose which animal would win in a fight in a series.
Here's a good one. An elephant versus an orangutan.
Ooh.
Man, that's a good fight.
Yeah.
Put that in the octagon, Joe Rogan.
I think I'll have to stay with an elephant for that, though.
You're going to go with the elephant?
I think so, yeah.
I would have to watch an elephant fight. I hear they're bad dudes.
Pure size, and they definitely have strength, and I don't know if an orangutan could get through the skin. enough to incapacitate that big ass elephant.
Oh man, I think an orangutan could probably rip its ear off.
Maybe, yeah, it might.
No, but look at this last one.
The goose.
What's a goose?
I still won't bet against the goose. Those are the meanest. They may be like a small animal, but they have the most hate in them.
Yeah, they do, man. I fucking hate them too.
It's like they're like 7 pounds of pure fucking.
They really are.
Like, yeah, unrivaled hate. That's all they are.
All right. That's Animal Fights for this week. We'll have some better ones next week.
Yeah, we were on the spot. It's okay.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
We
Come
love
to the
you guys.
live show.
Please come.
He loves you.
Giggity. Love you.